And you can see they both turn to be farmers. And you can see their prices are reduced by... Hey guys, welcome back to Eyecraftmc. In today's episode, we're going to be making a villager trading hall. But before we do that, we're going to make today's banner of the day. Get out of the way, Spark. We're going to start today's banner with an orange banner and white dye. The white dye is going to be in a white rondel. Then we're going to go on to a white flower charge, which is this shape right here. And a flower charge is an oxeye daisy and a piece of paper. Next we're going on to a yellow base gradient, which is this one right here. That's actually this one. Then we're going on to a brown pale Dexter, which is this pattern right here. And we're going to go on to a green chief indented, which is this pattern right here. We're going to end off last but certainly not least with a green base, which is this pattern right here. And you can see what it makes. It's like a tropical sunset banner. I thought that was a really cool one. So yeah, I'll put this up next to all of our other really cool banners. I just think it's I really love the scenery banners, ones that really show off a cool scene. I mean, you can see that from some of these other ones that I've done, but yeah, it's quite a cool banner. So we'll put it up right here, and you can see that. Alright, yeah, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building a villager trading hall, which I think will be quite fun. So we're just going to go over to the village, which is of course this way. And yeah, I've gotten a little bit of work done off camera, not too much. So what I've done is I've prepared a little area to show you how it works. And then we're going to build a little bit of an area of this trading hall together. So I'll just get the supplies out for that here. And then we'll get a zombie and yeah, so what we basically want to do is there's my villager breeder. I have a whole video on that, and I'll link that in the description. Hopefully I'll remember to. You can see it's definitely working. And then when you press that button there, it sends a mine... Well, I won't do it. When you press the button there, it'll send a minecart off, grab the baby villager, and then take it over here. So I will also be adding a little zombifying station here, so we can zombify the villagers before they go into here, into their area to be traded with. So the way you build this trading area is really simple. All you need is some logs, or it could be planks, but I just like the look of logs a bit better. And then you also just need some slabs, which are right here, some fences, just a few trapdoors, and some torches, or maybe end rods, depending on what you like. Anyway, what you want to do is you want to just go up 2 blocks like this, and just kind of make a zigzag or maybe zipper shape like this, and just continue that on for as much as you want. Each one of these holes here will hold 1 villager. And then what you'll do is get yourself some slabs and just put them right on top of it here, and you can see that just fills it all the way in like that. Then we'll get ourselves some dark oak fences and put in the dark oak fences like this. And just basically they'll go between this so that all the villagers are separated and they won't see each other's workstations, because that can be a major issue if not dealt with. Then we'll just grab ourselves some trapdoors, but before we do that, we're just going to quickly put down some temporary blocks in here. This is just so we can place the trapdoors on something without trying to place it on the side like this, and it'll just bend the wrong way, so that doesn't work anyway. So we'll just place the trapdoors like this. They can bend upwards or downwards. Doesn't really matter. You want them to bend upwards though, since it's a lot nicer that way. And the point of these is so if it's nighttime where you are, or if it's not spawn proofed, what you can do is you can... Oh, I just broke the wrong thing. What you can do is you can have it so that, let's say I'm a villager in here, and there's my workstation be right here. And let's say there's a bad guy that's going to come get me, like let's say a baby zombie, or like a witch that can throw projectiles and would be able to get to me. You can just close the trap door, and then the villager is totally safe in here, you can see. So that's what that's for. And we'll just place that trapdoor back just like that. And then the torches we can just place here on every single one of these fence posts. I suppose you could do every other fence post, but when it's every fence post, it just makes it really nice, and it basically just makes it so that the villagers don't get zombies spawning really close to them and hurting the villagers. So yeah, that's what those are for. And then for these rails, what you're going to want to do is basically have it set up like this. I forgot to bring the rails with me. I'll have to go back and get those, but we basically want to do is just have some rails set up so that they go into each one of these little holes like this, and then once you get a minecart in there, so we'll show off that in a second here with this villager right here. We'll actually bring him back eventually because we haven't zombified it yet, and we'll go to that process here in a second. What we're going to do is just move it along here, and it'll basically just automatically go in there, and then you can see it's kind of ready to be traded with. But what you can do too is just break that, go in here, and you can see it pushes it right back out. So that works quite well like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself a zombie, And that might take a little bit of time, but do a cut and I'll be right back as soon as I've gotten a zombie, because once I've done that, then we can work on the zombification station right here. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, so I found the rather elusive and hard to find zombie. Here he is. Basically, only 50% of zombies can hold items and armor. This one can. You can see he's holding a block. So what we're going to do, we're going to throw this leather cap on the ground, see if he wears it. Good, he does. That means he's the right type of zombie. Now what we want to basically do, now he's actually kind of saved, like he won't despawn, he actually can't. We just have to remember where he is. And I think just up here is where we want the zombie to be, which is actually perfect. So yeah, he's just trapped right there. Yeah, perfect. So all we have to do now is just make our area for the zombie to go to, which will be just about here. And we can set that up. So what we want to do for that is just kind of break a bit of this rail, of course, so we can make some room. Yeah, we want to just have a nice area here with basically a bit of a fencing system where he can get to the villagers, but he can't re-zombify them once they've been cured once, in case they've been cured enough times. So hopefully that made any sense. But yeah, basically we'll just start by making a whole bunch of fences. I already have some, but I'll make some more. And just making quite a few more. We also want a lot of fence gates. That's going to be really, really important. So we're going to make a good amount of those. At least 4 should do, but maybe we might need more. We'll also want a lot of slabs because we want a way so that the villagers do not burn up once they're zombified villagers or zombie villagers. So what we'll do is we'll just make our little station here. What'll basically happen is these rails will go over like this. Then this will enter into a little fenced area where the villagers will go once they're going to be zombified. So it doesn't have to be very big. We can just make it around like this. And we'll basically just work a bit more on this in a second, but just kind of fence the whole thing off like this. And then once it's like this, we're just making a big fenced area. This will be the area where the villagers go. This will be the area where the villagers exit, so we want to be careful to keep those separate. And then over here will be the area where we keep the zombie when it's not zombifying. So it can actually be harder to get it in a little area like this than it may seem. So all we have to do is basically just make sure this is all the right size. In fact, what we can do is we can actually trim this down a bit. And we're basically just making the smallest area possible because we don't need a massive area for the zombie to be. We also want to be careful that the zombie doesn't get attracted to us to try and kill us and doesn't go after the villagers, because that can be a major issue. So what we're going to do here is put down a fence right here. That'll just get away so we can have the zombie here. We could even make the zombie's house a little bit bigger like this. The zombie's house. There we go. And what we'll do is just make it double fenced on a lot of this so that we can basically make sure that the zombie is not chasing after us, but is chasing after the villagers. So we'll go around like this and around like this. And it's actually a really easy complex to build. All we have to do is just go around like this. What we're actually going to do is we're going to steal a little bit of glass from this. You'll want a little bit of glass for this, and we can just put some dark oak fences back or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, there's that, and this glass is going to be right at the entrance and exit. So there's going to be one piece of glass like that, and there's going to be one piece of glass where this fence is like that. And what that's going to do is that's going to make it so that the villagers do not get hurt when they come into the complex and get suffocated in a wall. So that's not a wall, the fence, but it's any solid block they'll get suffocated in, and I think a fence is solid enough to suffocate them. So what we'll just do is we'll get ourselves a whole bunch more sticks and get a whole bunch more fences like this. And yeah, just make sure this is all double walled, except for one little area where we can have just to kind of distract the zombie. We also want an area where we can throw in our enchanted golden apples and our weakness potions. So we'll probably have that be right here. So what we'll do is we'll select this and make this be double tall. And then when we want to attract the zombie out towards us, we'll just go right here. The last thing to do is just to get ourselves a big slab fence for this area. So what we're going to want to just do is go up here and go up one more and then just get some slabs and basically just get slabs to cover the entire thing. Doesn't have to go out any further than the small fenced area, but just to cover it enough that the zombies and the zombie villagers do not get burnt. I guess there'd only be one zombie and that's protected by the hat, but we want to be careful that the zombie villagers don't burn, since that could obviously waste all of our progress. So we'll just put all these around like that. And we'll put some fences right here, or some slabs that is, just because I have had villagers get out to this other area before on a different world where I had the same kind of design. So let's go like this. And that should be almost ready. I mean, of course, we're going to need a lot of golden apples and other things like that. But we can get the zombie in here for now. That should work. So What we'll also do is we'll get ourselves, once the villager is zombified, we'll just get some fences in here and then kind of push it in. So that'll be a bit manual, but that should be fine. It looks like it's almost bedtime, so we'll just get our bed out like this. But anyway, our zombie is just around here. I'm trying to think of where we dug out from. It might take me a second to find it, but yeah, just basically just under here is their cave. Yeah, right here. And that's where our zombie is right there, which is perfect. So also the hat doesn't have to be enchanted leather. It can be literally any type. You just want to make sure that the helmet is there so it's protected by the sunlight. Or I suppose alternatively you could throw a splash potion of fire resistance at it, but it's a bit more effort. And what's cool is you don't actually have to name tag the zombie. All you have to do is make sure it's holding an item or having a helmet on, because it doesn't actually have to be named to not despawn. Now these villagers will distract our zombie from chasing us, so we're going to want to be careful and just kind of push these villagers away. Maybe not totally out of the way, but just away enough that the zombie does not try and kill them, because that would obviously be an issue for more reasons than one. The main one actually being that if the zombie's trying to go after these villagers, it won't be going after us, so we can't get it in here. We'll also just temporarily put a fence gate there. And actually, yeah, this villager here, let's see if we can get out of the way. It may end up just being a pain, honestly, but yeah, we'll do this. And again, if something goes wrong, we can always kill the zombie, although that is definitely not preferable. So, let the zombie come up here, and we'll just let the zombie chase us. Make sure the zombie is not going after anything but us. Just stay really, really close to the zombie. Make sure that the zombie is not going for anything else. You also want to make sure you have your best armor on so that the zombie does not kill you when you're doing this, because it can. Alright, there we go, perfect. And you can see the zombie is totally trapped, so that's awesome. Now all we have to do is, we have to free this baby villager. You never want to zombify a baby villager, because first of all, it's cruel, but second of all, it doesn't work anyway, because basically the, what'll happen is once they're zombified as a baby, they can't actually ever unzombify. And yeah, these villagers are going to be a bit of a pain, but yeah, what we want to do as well, real quick, this is an interesting little step we can do as well. Get ourselves a whole bunch of rails and basically make a queue for the villagers so that once they're adults, they can kind of grow up in this queue, and they can basically just kind of wait there while they wait to be zombified. And it's super useful because then you don't have to go one zombie at a time or one villager at a time. And if you do is just go like this and basically just have little entrances to the queue. Let's see if we have some powered rails. Also, I did notice that I said we don't have any rails when I have a whole shulker box full, which is a bit silly, but yeah, here we go. So we'll grab the powered rails here. What we want to just do is make ourselves a small slope, which you can do with just any block like that. That should work. And just put that there, and then just put it over like that, and just put ourselves a lever right there. And that'll make it so that once the minecart is here, we can let it go over, but it won't go the other way. So it'll basically just be a one-way kind of exit off this and onto the zombification area. So yeah, because the villagers won't be able to push up the unpowered rails, at least not very easily. So there's that, which is awesome. And this is almost done, actually. All we have to do now is just get ourselves some golden apples and splash potions of weakness, and I will do that. Also some workstations, and I'll be right back once I've gotten those, so I'll see you in a second. If you don't know how to make golden apples and splash potions of weakness, here's how. Golden apples are super easy. All you need to do is just put apples in your crafting grid and surround them by gold ingots like this. It is a bit expensive, but it is what it is. You want to get a lot of them since you need a new one per zombification. To make the splash potions of weakness is also very easy. All you need is a fermented spider eye going straight into water bottles, not awkward potions. Then once that's done, that'll make a potion of weakness, and you'll just make it a splash potion by adding the gunpowder. And we're going to add in our gunpowder. Awesome, you can see we have there 3 splash potions of weakness, and we'll just make one more batch, and I'll be right back once I've done that. Also, we're going to be making some stone cutters. This is going to be the workstation for masons because they have a really good trade where it's 1 stone for 1 emerald once they've fully been zombified. Also, I do hear those pesky pillagers, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fly away and let them despawn. I'll be right back. Alright, our villagers are now in place to be zombified. Something interesting is that you can actually have one splash potion affect a huge amount of villagers. I've done it up to 4 or 5 villagers at once, so you can just do one splash potion for the 3 villagers instead of one splash potion per villager. So yeah, you just want to get them set up in such a way where they're not pushed back onto the track by the zombie when the zombie is zombifying them. Another really important thing to do, and you might run into this problem, is make sure that you are on hard mode. I always play on hard mode, but if let's say you play on, easy or normal, there's a 0% or 50% chance respectively on those game modes for the villager to turn into a zombie villager, whereas on hard it's a 100% chance. So it's very important to make sure you're on hard mode, at least when you're doing this part. Now what we want to do is we want to just release the villager, or not the villager, release the zombie and just hide so the zombie cannot see us. And you can see the zombie doesn't know we're there anymore, so now it's going to trigger the villagers. It might kind of walk around a bit weird, and it can even be safe and get rid of, like, let's say this rail right there. If you think that might work a little bit better, it really depends. But yeah, you can see that one's turned into a zombie, and the third one will too. Now another really important thing to do and notice is the fact that these zombies are now zombies, not just villagers, so they can despawn, which means you want to make sure that you either name tag them or you just stay very close to them. So I'll just stay close to them since I don't have a lot of name tags, but if in your world you have a lot of name tags, you may want to do that. What's cool is that one of the villagers, I believe it's the cartographer, sells name tags. So as we get through this, we can get better and better capabilities of zombifying. So what we're going to want to do is heal them now. We want to heal them and kill them 3 times, because that will lower their trades, and I'll explain that in a second here. What basically happens is every single time a zombie or a villager is zombified, their trade price is lowered by 5 emeralds, and you can just see there that one affects all 3, so I can just right click on all of them. It's probably very loud, but anyway, now they're all being healed. But anyway, what basically happens is every time you zombify a villager, it lowers the price of their trades by 5 emeralds. So let's see if we can get an example here. Basically, let's say your villager's price was 6 emeralds for a pumpkin, then with one zombification it would be 1 emerald for a pumpkin. So like here, what you really want to aim for is cheap trades like this. Now I would do a villager, but at this point I might do 1 farmer, I might do some clerics, or not clerics, I might do 1 farmer and also some stonemasons. Farmers are a really good one early game because you can get a lot of pumpkins easily. But another good one to do is the mason, because if you look here, their trade is 20 stone for an emerald, which means you can zombify them 4 times and then get yourself that many trades down. So you'd want to zombify this 4 times to get it down to 0. Now what's also interesting is that sometimes their price is lower once they've been zombified. So once you've traded with them, sometimes their prices do not lower when they've been zombified, so you want to keep that in mind. So for instance, my mending villager down here, his prices may or may not lower when I trade with him. It's hard to say actually. It can be random, it can happen, it cannot. However, when you zombify them before they pick a trade, whatever trade they pick, they'll have the cheap prices, and they'll always lower by 5 emeralds per zombification. So I'm just going to let these villagers zombify, and then I'll zombify them 3 more times, and I'll be back once that happens. Alright, so you can see that this villager now has healed. Something you want to be sure to do is if the villagers are too close, well that one just hurt me, but if the villagers are too close, then they can actually re-zombify each other, which can be a big problem. That's also why that one healed too. That's also why you want to keep them in the mine carts, because if they do not stay in the mine carts, then they will just honestly kill themselves again and again and again, and they'll just stay undead forever no matter how many times you try and heal them. So we're basically just going to rinse and repeat the exact same thing again. Alright, so these villagers have now cured. Now a bit of an important warning actually. You may notice the 3rd villager is gone, as well as the zombie here, and my levels have lowered down a bit. I had a bit of a run-in with an iron golem, where the iron golem decided to come over here, kill the zombie, and kill another zombie villager. So I tried distracting it, ended up dying 2 or 3 times. So basically, something really important to make sure of is that iron golems do not get close to your farm, and also just to make sure that they can't see them. So what you could always do is put some trapdoors like this. You can put trapdoors on top of these, and then have it so when they open, they could open inward, better if they open outwards. So if we just place them this way, that'd be a lot better, and that'll just make it so that the iron golems can't see them to hit them. But another thing you might want to do as well is replace these fence gates with something a bit more durable, such as solid blocks, so there's no chance that the iron golems can hit through them. So that's something really important to do if you think that iron golems will be a problem for you. And same with this area over here, because yeah, the iron golem all the way over there got them. So one of the best ways to deter iron golems is to put up a small fence like this. It could be up with fences or walls like this, and it basically just separates the main part of the village from your area with the trading parts of the villagers, and the iron golems won't be able to get over. But because the iron golems are over here, the cap is still full of iron golems, so likely you won't have any iron golems spawn over here. And yeah, it'll just basically protect your zombie. You can also have 1 wide holes in the fence like this, because iron golems need a 2 wide space to go through. So anyway, we'll quickly finish the last bit of this, which is basically just to show that the trades have decreased. So what we'll do here is just craft up some of the table that we want, which is of course the composter, because we're actually not doing the masons because I don't have enough golden apples to zombify them that many times. So I'm just going to make a bunch of composters, actually just 2, because most of the villagers unfortunately perished. Well, 2 of them did. So we'll just put in those here once they're in, and actually we'll keep these here like that. What we'll do is I'll just show you how to get these villagers out of the farm. Yeah, the farm does work. You just want to make sure that you do get these possibly replaced with something else, or at least make sure that you don't have iron golems spawning all the time. So maybe just have like some other fence around it, like kind of further out, so the villagers can't get anywhere near. So we'll just let those escape, and I just broke the glass to get in here myself, but that doesn't have to be broken for the villagers to get out. And of course I will replenish the zombie between episodes, so here you can see they're in like that. Now they don't have any professions yet, which is fine. We'll just break the little rail underneath them like that, and then they'll just like that. And we'll just get ourselves our composters, put the composters there and there. And you can see they both turn to be farmers. And you can see their prices are reduced by, it looks like 2. It's a little bit higher because they haven't been traded with yet, but it will lower down. And it's not this price here, it's only the starting price here. So yeah, you can see that's worked. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to press the like button, make sure to comment and tell me what you think of the video, and make sure to subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!